welcome back to the channel, and today a quick review for this here, The Tower of the Swallow. This is one of the Witcher novels. In fact, it is book 6 if you include the 2 short story collections, which I do. It's by Andrzej Sapkowski, and it comes in this paperback I've got here today. Unfortunately, yes, they are cheaper if you get the ones with the now on Netflix on them, but it is what it is. It comes in around 440 pages. My word count was around 160,000 words. It took me a week to read, but I am a slower reader. It's quite wordy. There's quite a few words per page in this, to be fair. We'll get on to how the page count is handled in a minute. What we have here is a Witcher entry, which again continues to play with the kind of framing of the narrative in very interesting ways. It is still kind of framed as a dark fairy tale in places here. The way the chapters are laid out, the way the story is given to the reader is not your traditional way of doing so, and that will put some readers off. You will also, if you're used to modern fantasy, you're not necessarily going to get along with the fact that when you change POV character, you will not get a chapter break. When you change time, location, none of these things will mean a chapter break in a Witcher novel, and this is probably more obtuse than the average Witcher novel as well. That will throw up a few problems for some people, but it's certainly well written and put together very nicely. I quite enjoy the way these are framed at times. At time, generally, this is not in chronological order. The way the story is related to you is very much a collage that comes together at the end. You're going to be dealing with different timelines, and you're not going to know necessarily which timeline you are in. It is a book that does not hold your hand. It treats you as an adult and makes you work for it a little bit. And there are good and bad points for that, for sure. You're going to still get the great individual characters, very unique, the dry sense of humour, the satire, the social commentary. This is the stuff that Sapkowski does so well. This is all still in here for sure. It is kind of the opposite to Time of Contempt, though, in that I found the first half of the novel less engaging than the second half, whereas Time of Contempt very much the other way around. The second half was less engaging. And yeah, it doesn't really justify the extra pages. It is probably around 50 pages longer on average than the books that preceded it. It doesn't really do enough to justify the extra page count. And unfortunately, I would say quality-wise, slightly lower than the best books in the series. Yeah, this is probably out of six books so far. This is probably the 5th or 6th weakest book in the series, which is a shame considering it is one of the longer ones. Really enjoyed it still. Very, very good book. Just maybe not hitting the heights that others have done. I'd actually give it a 3.6 out of 5.